They see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Snipers were on a roof nearby as a would-be assassin fired at former President Trump. Videos of the snipers online have people chiming in on the incident and the response. A former military and police sniper is here with his take on what happened and what it's like to protect a president. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. When a 20-year-old man climbed onto a roof last Saturday with an AR-15 in Butler County, Pennsylvania, he was able to do so with Secret Service, local law enforcement, and trained snipers nearby. Thomas Crooks, who's been described as a loner by former high school classmates, was seen on the roof before firing his shots.
He's going down! Stay under here. He's on top of the roof. Don't go over there. He's on the roof, buddy.
Crooks fired several shots, hitting former President Trump as he spoke to a crowd at one of his signature rallies.
To our country, probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Snipers were on a roof nearby, but not the roof where Crooks was able to set up his gun.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
You can see the snipers react after they hear the shots. A sniper's bullets killed Crooks. Sadly, firefighter Corey Comparator was killed. He was at the rally with his family.
Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday. Corey loved his community. And most especially, Corey loved his family. Corey was an avid supporter of the former president and was so excited to be there last night with him in the community. I asked Corey's wife if it would be okay for me to share that we spoke. She said yes. She also asked that I share with all of you that Corey died a hero, that Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally. Corey was the very best of us. May his memory be a blessing.
Two other men were wounded, David Dutch and Jim Copenhaver. They are being treated in the hospital. Crooks was able to get onto the roof of the building where local police were staged inside. He was about 400 feet from the stage with a direct line of sight to the stage where Mr. Trump was speaking. The director of the Secret Service, Kim Cheadle, spoke to ABC News exclusively, calling the shooting unacceptable and saying it should never happen again. Cheadle also told ABC News that she was still gathering details, but confirmed that Crooks was identified as suspicious before he fired the shots, calling the time frame a very short period of time. Cheadle offered this explanation for why agents weren't on the roof of the building.
That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. And so, you know, there's a safety factor that would be considered there, that we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof. And so, you know, the decision was made to secure the building from inside.
And Cheadle has taken a lot of ribbing for that comment on social media. The roof where the snipers who shot Crooks were positioned were on a sloped roof. All of this raises a lot of questions. We're seeing snippets of the snipers online, and as the shots were fired, it looks like they are in position. So what happened? Why wasn't Crooks taken out sooner before he fired the shots? I have a great app to tell you about that will help give you cash back when you buy gas and food. It's called Upside. It gives you real money back. Here's how it works. Download Upside and look at the offers. When you find one, claim it and then pay with your debit or credit card. I used Upside to get cash back on gas, and I got more than $5 back on 1 tank of gas. You cannot beat that. To find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen and use the promo code CRIMEFIX to get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. I want to bring in a former sniper. His name is Jimmy. Jimmy, what were your first thoughts when you heard about this and saw the videos?
I was just surprised that it had happened. My son actually told me right before his birthday. His birthday was the next day. And when I heard about it, it wasn't surprising to a point of it actually happened. I was really happy that he was alive, though.
When you saw the videos and the picture, you know, with social media, everybody can comment now on everything. People have opinions. So when you've seen the videos of the snipers on the roof, and it almost looks like they see something and then you hear the shots. What do you think is going on when you look at that video as they're looking into the scope of their guns, but you hear the pop, pop, pop?
So I'll start from the beginning of because I've done that actual detail. I've done that for Biden, actually. When he was the vice president, I did that detail. And I was a sniper on a roof. And essentially what you do while you're up there is you have a whole week of planning where you go out there like a week before. And you do what's called, in the Marine Corps, we call them field cards. So you go out there and you say, this area could be a threat. You calculate what your ballistics would be in that particular event should something happen in this area. So you're ready to have your gun ready in that area. Then you'll say maybe over here, 600 yards away, there could be something going on here. Basically, you put points in the area that say, hey, if something happens here, this is where I'm going to be looking. Now, from the videos that I've seen, people started seeing this guy climbing the roof, right?
Right.
And so they start, hey, there's a guy with, climbing the roof over here and whatnot. So on that detail, you never have your rifle up. You're always looking through binos. Once you pull your rifle up and you are looking in an area, you have determined that there is a credible something going on, whether it be a threat, whether it not be. Something is going on there, though. Because once you pull up that gun in the Secret Service, the guys that are on the ground, if they see you pull up your gun, they understand that something bad is going on. So the fact that they were already behind their gun, they understood that something was happening. Now, did they see that guy? I can't tell. I I haven't been on that roof. I did go onto Google Earth, and from the distance that I determined from Google Earth was 200 yards, about 200 yards, like 190. So the distance wouldn't have been a problem for those guys. The issue would have been the dead space on the peak of the roof. So if you're looking at a roof, you can only see one side of it, right? Mm-hmm. On the other side, you can't see anything. And from the videos that I saw where the people that were yelling, you could see this guy, he crawls a little bit and he looks up. So those guys may have seen him, like we call it turkey peeking. So you're crawling on and you look up like this and you come back down so that you can't be seen. In that event, those guys, if they're not seeing some kind of threat, like the guy's pointing the gun at him, or anything like that, they're not going to shoot at him. They just see a guy on a roof. You know what I mean? So
you're saying by the time that those guys, because there was other video of them looking through, some type of binoculars or whatever. So is that typical position for a sniper? You're kind of surveying, your head's kind of on a swivel. So you're kind of just keeping an eye out at all times. And I'm assuming you're also communicating with other people on the ground through some type of communication system. Yes. So when you're in the binos, essentially what you're doing is you're looking for say what that is, because you're saying binos, is that binoculars or? Yeah, binos are binoculars. Yes. Okay. Yes. And you can actually see them in the videos where they're behind their rifles. You can see them on the ground.
And like you said, I think it was about 7 minutes before everything happened. You can actually see those guys, and they are, in their binoculars looking for threats.
So by the time they get down on their guns or, behind their guns and they're looking through the scope, you're saying they've already determined that there's some type of credible threat there and they're lining up to take the shot, because it's not just like in the movies. I mean, I feel like when you see them in the movies, they're at least in a military type of situation, they're actually kind of setting up, and this isn't like a willy-nilly thing. You have to actually set the shot, make sure you've got it on your target, because you're shooting to kill. You're not shooting to miss. Correct.
Yeah, we don't shoot to miss. We don't shoot to wound. It is, when you're shooting that rifle, it is shooting to kill. And those guys, as they pulled up, it's the data that's on the rifle. And you can actually see on their rifle in the video, they have a rangefinder. It's a little box looking thing on top of the rifle. And that's a rangefinder. It's a laser, sends out a laser. The laser comes back and says that's 200 yards or whatever it might be. Some scopes will actually set that data for you. But I don't think that was the type of rifle that they had. It's just a quick adjustment that those guys needed. And that would have been half a second. Those guys had their scope set to eliminate a threat.
They did eliminate the threat. And there's been a lot of criticism that people weren't moving quickly enough. And I'm not sure we have enough information now to make, an assessment. How are you feeling about that? Do you feel like we have enough information to say whether or not people were moving quickly enough or not? I mean, the head of the Secret Service has already said that the shooting was unacceptable. And there have been questions about whether or not there was enough manpower deployed.
For the shooting to be unacceptable, I don't understand how that could be the case. I mean, someone literally shot the former president in the ear. The fact that he even got a shot off is, to me, unacceptable. Now, I'm not going to judge those guys that were on that roof. I will tell you right now, I already looked up the temperature. It was 91 degrees that day. And being on that roof is horrible. Even for that bad guy. As he's crawling, I guarantee you he was burning. Because those roofs, those metal roofs on the top up there, you get very, very hot. Now, as far as those guys waiting to take a shot, I can't judge those guys in that aspect because I don't know their policies. One. Two, I wasn't on the roof, and I haven't been on that roof. So I wouldn't even know if they could see the guy. I already talked about the dead space in the roof. Mm-hmm. They could have seen the crowd freaking out, pointing, saying, hey, there's somebody over there. So they get behind their rifle and they're just waiting. Because even taking a shot, if he would have came like on the side of the roof, he could have taken shots and they wouldn't have seen him. And from what I've watched, there's 2 rounds, pop, pop, that the guy shoots at him. The second round appears to hit the former president in the ear, and he puts his hand up and gets down. And then hear anywhere from 3 to 4 more shots, and then about 2 seconds later, you hear the sniper shoot, and it appears to be 2 rounds. The succession of which those 2 rounds went off, it sounded, because they have bolt guns, right? Those do not shoot very fast. You're not going to go pow, 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 pow. It'll be pow, 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 right? So it appears that both the snipers may have shot. I can't say that for sure, but that may have been the case.
The head of the Secret Service also told ABC News, she was Kim Cheadle, she was talking with Pierre Thomas of ABC News and was asked about there not being snipers on the roof where Thomas Crooks was able to set up his gun. And she said something about possibly there being a safety issue with the sloped roof. Snipers are well trained. And I would assume no matter where you've been trained to be a sniper, whether it's the military or local law enforcement, that you are trained to shoot from a variety of locations. Because if you're a sniper, you're going to be in situations potentially where the conditions are not ideal.
Yeah, and the matter of the position would have been up to the snipers themselves. They were on a sloped roof, so that makes no sense. They literally were on a sloped roof. So if that's a matter of concern for you, why did you have them on a sloped roof? And it's up to those guys. And I guarantee you, as a sniper, you do not care about the position. Now, yes, you want to sit there for 8 hours, you're probably going to pick something a little more comfortable. But that's not the case.
Jimmy, since you've been on this detail before, do you feel that there should have been snipers on that roof where Crooks was? I mean, there was local law enforcement, according to the reporting, stationed inside the building where Crooks had climbed on top of the roof. And apparently there was a law enforcement officer who got up there, saw him, ducked because he thought he was going to take fire, and then fell off the roof. So it seems to me, I mean, it's like 400 feet away with a straight shot to the former president. It seems to me that you should have somebody up there, whether they're local law enforcement or federal.
Yeah, the fact that building wasn't secured to a point where someone could crawl on top of it, that makes no sense to me. The facility of where I did it, we were also at an airport, and every building had either a deputy or a Secret Service when I was there, and this was for Vice President Biden at the time. They were mainly with him. Everything else was secured by local law enforcement. But we had every building had a deputy standing there, ready to secure the area, ready to respond. The fact that this guy was able to climb a roof, that is a total failure in my eyes.
Well, Jimmy, is there anything else you'd like to add about this? It sounds to me like you think that we need some more answers and some changes need to be made.
Yeah, the FBI is investigating. I would definitely like to know what they have to say and what they find out. Now, I don't want these guys, the snipers that took that shot, I'm not here to judge them. I don't want any ill will towards those guys because we don't know. We don't know what they were seeing in the scope. And until they come out and say it, or it comes out in the investigation, we don't know.
Still a lot of questions, and we're only a couple of days out from this, really a few days. Jimmy, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.